Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday the 11th of September 2017. So Friday on the British pound, very quiet in the morning when we had the news out in the UK, and then when it went quiet news-wise, the afternoon the dollar slid and the pound moved higher there, as you can see. And we did get a signal which was here, but unfortunately it was the fourth bar and not the third that would have actually filled this, and then the market moving to the upside there. In the daily charts, we can see the market's driven through the 131.63 area there. Let me just remove that 76 that the market's gone through so you can see. Now this should become a support area. Next upside target is going to be the 132.66 area should the market continue to move higher. News-wise for today, there is no news today. It's as simple as that. It's going to be one of those days where the market's going to have to come up with its own news to move prices. Let's have a quick look at the Dow for Friday. As I said in the note that I sent out, we had a signal from the start. The market filled this, and then as the market drove through the scalp, which was this bar here, we could then trail the stop, and eventually the market stopping out at 21,799 or 21,800 level. Eventually the market, after two losing trades, which you see here and here, which is why I sent the note out after this and before these two trades, was to warn that the market really didn't have much left in it. We did get a bit of another up move there. You can say, well, there was 20 points here, but that wouldn't make up what you lost here. There was no news out, and then eventually we see the market moving sideways, and that's where it remained for the remainder of the session, just getting narrower each time as the session progressed there. And then you see late on in the evening two failed sell signals, which is why it's important, if the first hour, because there was no news on Friday, to actually take the money off the table and call it a day. In the daily chart of the Dow, the market moving higher. This is the overnight picture. I don't think this is correct. I'm just going to check this. Right, there we go. It's a different picture now, and that's because when the chart loaded this morning, it was obviously a delay and then changed and altered the feed or the historic prices, but I've just refreshed it on inside of MT4 just by, doesn't matter which ones you click on, this way it pulls all the data in, and there's the picture of what it looks like. And that's why I thought it was different when I saw it in PPT, and that's why just a quick reload and we get the correct picture. Now the market's gapped higher on the overnight, and that's because Hurricane Irma hasn't been as devastating, thankfully, as was predicted. So of course less money the government's going to have to find to throw in to sort any mess out and rebuilds, etc., that comes with these events. So that's good news for the market, and that's why you're seeing the market gap higher. The only concern is that any market that makes a gap generally finds that it has to be filled, so we could see the market come back over the next day or so, or even today, fill the gap before moving back to the upside there. So the market sideways and a bit messy at the moment. Right, let's have a quick look at the implied volatility before concluding this morning's look at the markets. So even though the Dow moved higher on Friday, the implied volatility went up from 929 to 964. And the reason for this was the potential, again, for what the hurricane was likely to, the damage that was likely to occur over the weekend. And of course this impacts across the board. They didn't know what the outcome was going to be, so you can see where the options traders have actually marked up, even though the market moved to the upside. So that's the reason for that. So everything back to normal as of today, because everything's turned out fine with the hurricane. Right, well, as fine as it could be for having a hurricane pass through your garden, I suppose. It wasn't as bad as it was for those in the Caribbean. Right, that'll do it for today. No news today, so you know what to expect. Fairly quiet, one directional, unless something comes out for unexpected geopolitical, etc., that will move the markets. Otherwise, it could be a fairly quiet day, mainly to the upside, thanks to the damage that's been sustained by Hurricane Irma being less than they had actually forecast. Right, that's it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.